For professional, knowledgeable real estate service you can count on, call the Dan Gemus Real Estate Team. For solid real estate information and advice you can trust, listen to the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.
Compliments to the show. You're really hitting on the subjects and you're telling the truth. I appreciate you.
Now back to the show with broker owner and host, Dan Gemus.
Okay, welcome back to the show, everyone. Kathy Talbot in studio with me.
Messing up my microphone.
Your microphone's all set up here, Kath? All right. Oh, my goodness. Like doing circles with the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get to the topic today, we're going to remind you that if you're looking to make a move, you want to give the Dan Gemus team a call, 519-566-5565. You can also find us on our website at dangemus.com.
Or if you're not thinking of it for yourself,
Yes.
please send us referrals.
That's
we
right.
love referrals. We love helping family and friends of people that we've worked with.
100%.
That's the best.
No doubt. Or listeners, too. We love that, too. So 100%. Make sure you recommend the Dan Gemus team. And, yes, it is really us, and we really are like this in real life. So if you don't like it, too bad. All right.
What you see is what you get.
That's right. What you hear is what you get, folks. Okay, Kath, what do you say we tackle some first-time buyer mistakes to avoid? I'm gonna change this up and just say buyer mistakes to avoid.
Okay.
Not just first-time buyer mistakes, but literally buyer mistakes to avoid. So let's get on to this list here. So not getting pre-approved for a mortgage. Hugely important. So many first-time buyers or buyers start house hunting without knowing how much they can afford. Getting pre-approved gives you a clear budget and makes you a stronger buyer in the eyes of sellers. Even if you're not buying your first house, you still need to know what you can afford.
100%.
In today's market, especially with the way the rates are going, all over the place right now, and they have been coming down, which is great news. We're anticipating that, I think it's December 11th. Don't quote me, but the next BOC, the Bank of Canada rate announcement, I believe, is December 11th. It's December at some point. And we're anticipating the rates to come down again.
Don't you find it surprising that people still think the rates are high?
Well, because
I don't just mean high, but I mean like too high. And
yes,
they're still good rates.
They are still good rates. We're now hovering in the 4% range for a 5-year mortgage. But Kathy, you have to remember, buyers and people have been accustomed to the 1% to 2% range for the last few years, right? So they've forgotten what a real mortgage interest rate used to be like.
I guess.
We talk about the 80s where it was 20%, 21% in the early, 80, 81, the teens.
But it's only been the last couple years. It's only been a couple years ago it was that low.
100%.
So really, for that little blip in time,
a couple percent.
I don't know. I'm just surprised sometimes that people, and it's not just because I remember 18% interest rates, but it's still pretty darn good.
The difference, though, I think, is that home prices aren't $150,000 anymore.
That's true too.
They're $4, $5, $6 plus $100,000.
Yeah.
Right, and so in retrospect, I would take that, higher interest rate, at 4% that we used to see, 4 to 5%, or the mid threes we saw for quite a while as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For a $150,000 mortgage as opposed to 4 at $500,000, right? So I guess it's really all it's
all relevant.
It's all relative, right? Yeah. But again, look at your first homes. Like, what were homes selling for back then?
Oh, under $100,000. That's
what I'm saying. So I was selling $50,000 houses 10 years ago. It wasn't that long ago. They weren't big houses, but they were, in central Windsor, West Windsor, you could get something in those, little bungalow for $50,000, $60,000, $80,000.
Yeah.
So, whereas now a home in a trailer park is
$200,000.
Mobile homes are a couple $100,000.
Yeah.
Right, on leased land. So it's definitely it's altered, it's changed a bit. So mortgage pre-approval is definitely key there for sure. Overextending your budget is a mistake to avoid. So it's tempting.
They buy emotionally.
That's right. Who doesn't, right? It's tempting to stretch your budget for your dream home, but don't forget to account for property taxes, utilities, maintenance, and unexpected costs. Stick to what you can comfortably afford.
Well, that's
So-
what happened with all the bidding wars.
Yes.
Right? I have to have this house. There's going to be a whole bunch of offers. I
FOMO.
can't lose this house. Yep.
Fear of missing out.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
Skipping the home inspection next on the list. Foregoing a home inspection to make your offer more competitive can lead to costly surprises down the road. Always invest in a professional inspection to understand the home's condition. Love this one, right? Or in multiple offer situations, do the home inspection before you write the offer.
Yep.
So that way you can leave it out
Yep.
if it's that important to you, right? Ignoring additional costs. So beyond the purchase price, don't forget about closing costs, moving expenses, home insurance. Failing to budget for these can lead to financial stress. 100%.
And if you've never owned a home before, you've never had utilities in your name before,
That's right.
sometimes you have to put a deposit.
That's right. You really do. Focusing too much on aesthetics. So it's easy to be swayed by decor or staging, but focus on the bones of the house, the layout, and its long-term potential. Cosmetic changes are easier and cheaper than structural fixes.
Yes.
100%.
Yep.
Not researching the neighborhood. So a home may look perfect, but the neighborhood is just as important. Visit at different times of the day, check crime rates, and assess amenities like schools, parks, and shops. Another good tip, go talk to the neighbors.
Mm-hmm.
You
They
know,
always know the scuttlebutt.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Neighbors across the street might say, you know what? Oh my gosh, the neighbors next door are trouble. They have always had issues with them, and that's why they're moving because of, A, B, or C. Good to know before you buy the house,
Yeah.
right? Forgetting about resale value is next on the list of buyer mistakes to avoid. Even if you plan to stay long-term, consider factors that affect resale value, like location, school district, and market trends. A poor resale value could limit your future options.
Yeah. They might think they're going to stay there. This is going to be my forever home.
Yes.
How many times have I heard that?
Oh, my
and 5 years
gosh.
later, they're calling.
Yep. Every 5 years.
Because life changes,
Sure.
you know? Yep. And if you've got the best house in the whole block, everything else brings your value down. And if you've got the crummiest one, well, then you can always go up, I guess.
You can always go up, for sure. Making emotional decisions. So falling in love with a house can lead to rushing into decisions or overbidding. So stay logical and stick to your priorities and budget to avoid buyer's remorse.
Yeah.
Remember those days, Kath, when you used to be able to put an offer, or not even put an offer yet, just sleep on the house a couple days,
Yeah.
just think about it, and then you know what? We're going to try an offer. Okay.
Yep. Did that really exist, Dan?
It really did. Not that long ago. And
Yeah.
then the market switched. Next thing you know, okay, buyers, you have 35 minutes to make a decision. Buy or don't buy.
Yep.
Do you like it? It's okay, but whatever. We'll put an offer in. We're so desperate. I don't miss those days.
Nope.
That was not enjoyable at all
No.
for anybody. Another big buyer mistake to avoid, and not working with a trusted real estate team. Yep, or agent. 100%. That's key, right? Trying to navigate the process without professional help can lead to mistakes.
Yeah.
An experienced real estate agent will guide you through negotiations, paperwork, and finding the right property.
Yeah.
100%. And they'll know which neighborhoods are desirable and which ones aren't.
That's right.
Right? It's our job. So, some extra little tips here. Neglecting to save for down payment. So that's key. And again, getting a mortgage pre-approval is really going to help in multiple different ways. So number one, you'll know what you can afford. Number two, you might not be able to buy a home right just yet because of, credit score, down payment amount, whatever it is.
But they'll guide you, and they'll
That's
give
right.
you the advice to get ready and how to prepare and how to plan and, put it off a little bit. That's the problem. A lot of young people want everything now,
Yes.
but sometimes it just can't work.
100%. And don't be afraid to shop around from a mortgage
For
standpoint,
mortgage rates,
right?
yeah.
Like not just rates, but terms as well. So
Oh,
naturally,
yes, terms. Sorry, yeah.
people oftentimes just go to their bank, right? So they go right off the top. But it doesn't hurt to get a second opinion at least. At least get a second opinion,
Yeah.
right? Because something else might come along that makes more sense, has better terms,
Better service.
et cetera, et cetera. So it's not necessarily important that you go with your current bank to get a mortgage because it'll come out of your account regardless of who it's from.
That's right.
Right? Okay, we're going to take a break, Kath. We are going to come back with Patrice from Goldmar Property Management. She'll have her tip today and so much more as well. We'll have some more listener questions. So they're just pouring in. So we love it. Keep sending us your questions, dan@dangemus.com, or text us 519-792-2559. Lots more to come. Kathy Talbot in studio with me today. I am Dan Gemus. This is the Dan Gemus Real Estate Show.